All right, part 3. Coach Sid, traveling the world here in Nairobi, where I've been running with running clubs and adventuring to Tanzania and all parts. And this adventure will continue. One of the reasons is because I try my best every day. I'm devoted to maintaining my wellness, my fitness, eating right, getting my nightly fasting in, my digestive rest, making sure I meditate each day. Also, finding my tribe and community, some people that actually care about me and think about the same things that I'm trying to share with you. So, the conversation continues in part 3. We continue to talk about the theme for March, which is cutting that belly fat, because I don't want you to retire and be in and out of the hospital on dialysis and all the other crap that happens when we let being metabolically unfit continue year after year. So, learn something, like, subscribe, share your comments. Peace. Okay, I hope that helps.
It does, huh? I feel like you've addressed also the next question, which was which foods or eating patterns commonly contribute to stubborn belly fat, even when one is exercising.
Yeah, because even if you're exercising, if your lifestyle habits aren't addressed, you're not going to have the results that you dream for.
Yeah.
You know. Now remember, for me, it's my job. So I live on more in the advanced state of affairs that most people don't want to address and make as many sacrifices. They want to have a glass of wine periodically. They want to have a little more carbohydrates. They want to have a little snack. They want to eat more restaurant food where you're going to get some of these processed oils. And you can probably find your own balance that can work with you if you're getting the results you want. If your doctor says your blood results are good, that's fine. But using carbohydrates as a condiment and not the main course would be a good place to start.
Okay.
Eating whole fruits when you eat them, eating them sparingly. In your choice of fruits, maybe you want to go from bananas to berries, because berries have less overall sugar attached to a handful of berries than eating a whole banana. A whole banana will have maybe 27 or so grams of carbohydrates, 4 grams per teaspoon is sugar. So about 7 teaspoons of sugar in that banana.
Wow.
6 to 7 teaspoons of sugar. And the little ones that we love here, each one of those little ones is about 18 grams of carbohydrates. A couple of those, you're at 36. That's 9 teaspoons of sugar.
Wow.
For 2 of those little ones.
You know, the most interesting thing about this conversation is that there have been things that, like you rightly said earlier, that need to be unlearned. And when you tell people not to eat bananas, they will.
Oh, I love bananas. I love bananas. But when I was 6 inches bigger here, breathing like this, going up the stairs, because of the 10 years I took off from exercise, where stress ruled my life, and I was overburdened, and I was drinking wine and smoking cigars with my friends. When I let myself go and my health and all of this deteriorated, coming back was a beast. That first year, I didn't have not one banana. That first year, I stuck to intermittent fasting of 18-6 or 16-8, which means at least 16 hours of digestive rest. Dinner by 6, and then I didn't eat again until 9 to 12 the next day. 9 a.m. to 12 noon the next day is when I would start eating again. And I had to be strict about it because I was in bad shape. Once I achieved my results, I took the foot off the brake a little bit. Now I have bananas here now. I offer you some bananas. I have bananas, but I have to share my bananas with staff here at this complex because I don't eat that many of them because I'm not constantly nagged by cravings. So I don't always have to put something in my mouth. I had a protein-filled breakfast. When you first arrived, I was finishing breakfast, and it had good protein. I had 2 slices of bread, buttered bread on my plate. I didn't eat them because I was filled up from the eggs and the beef sausage and the kimchi and the avocado. I was filled up, and I'm not hungry. You see, because I didn't spike my insulin and spike cravings. If I was eating pancakes, I would have gobbled them down, and I'd probably be thinking, I could use some juice right now. Because I would have started a whole different metabolic hormonal process of constant craving. You see, you can beat this, and it's not about willpower. It's about learning new habits and unlearning the things that are sabotaging you. Sabotage.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
No.
You know I'm wordy.
It's okay. I am learning a lot even as I am gathering information for the reader later when I do this. Now, sleep is something off the record that we've spoken This is not the first time you and I are having a conversation about sleep
Yes.
and sleep quality,
Yes.
and which also is related closely to stress management. So how do sleep quality and stress management affect belly fat, and what practical strategies do you recommend?
I'm going to read my notes. I want to get this exactly right. I'm going to read this because I thought about this carefully and edited it last night. Okay? And I started off saying, Dr. Sleep. You know who I heard say Dr. Sleep first? A hip-hop artist and queen of hip-hop going all the way back, Erykah Badu.
Whoa.
From Dallas, Texas. You know, she's a doula, you know, helping with natural childbirth.
Yeah.
She's just an amazing human being. And so, you know, I've loved her music, but she said, Dr. Sleep in her Erykah Badu voice. And I think about that because sleep is your doctor, you know. It preserves your manhood if you're a man. It burns belly fat when done correctly. It resets your brain because proper sleep is the time where your brain, which builds up metabolic waste throughout the day, where it flushes that out. The brain contracts, the lymph fluid in your brain and old glia cells and dead cells are flushed out, and fresh fluid comes back into your brain. So in the morning you wake up refreshed. Now anytime you wake up and you're not refreshed, that means that something we did kept the brain from fully refreshing itself. So Dr. Sleep helps refresh your organs from your brain to down below. So your manhood depends on it. Feminine hormonal health depends on it. So these are the parameters. I'll read them. Over 7 hours a night, minimum, as much as you can. I understand life. On an empty stomach with no alcohol in the body is powerful. Cellular renewal and autophagy, cleansing of the brain's glymph fluid, your liver magic. The liver does over 500 processes, which it doesn't get to access if you're still dealing with the glass of wine you had before bed. It can't do it because it has to address the neurotoxin that you ingested. If you go to bed with food in your stomach, these processes cannot occur because you've got undigested food burning in a slow burning. I heard another nutritionist say this, and it's all night slow burning dumpster fire in your gut. So you see, so you want that empty stomach. But that liver magic all occurs when your sleep hygiene is prioritized. So get your sleep right. Maybe take a walk after dinner within 30 minutes if you can, and then allow for 2+ hours between that last meal and bedtime. That can lower your insulin and allow the body to access that visceral fat that your body deeply desires to get rid of. Because as you can tell, it puts physical pressure on the organs. It causes inflammation, releases dangerous cytokines, and that will make you susceptible to cancer, dementia, all the diseases, because you're not strong. You're in a weakened, compromised state. Your immune system is compromised. You're fighting a losing battle unless we address this root cause. Dr. Sleep, that is one of the 3 pillars that I push. That is the exercise and recovery component of the 3 pillars of wellness. Sure, you must exercise, not too extreme. You exercise too extreme, you don't sleep as well.
True.
And if you're not sleeping as well in your training, that means you overtrained that day. Watch that. If it messes with your sleep, damn, I overtrained. I was supposed to run 10 kilometers. I got excited with my friends and ran 15. So then you overjumped your gradual increase in training load. You went like this. That's when you get injured. That's where you interrupt your sleep. Now you're going to see diminishing returns. So that's sleep is the foundation. So don't forget Dr. Sleep.
Stress management.
Woo! Where do we start? We are families. We have families and we work. Everyone has to find their own way. We know some of these tools we've described will help, but what we didn't mention was meditation, group support, community, how that reduces stress. Now we know that people that have good relationships with their friends, their family, and their community live longer. Okay? If you're isolated and you don't have healthy relationships, I think that increases your stress and reduces your overall happiness, your happiness quotient, I'm sure. So reducing stress is all of those things. Finding ways to sleep better, not eating a diet where you're constantly craving. Because if you're constantly craving, like a drug addict who craves heroin or cocaine or tobacco or alcohol, those are all stress. I'm fiending. That's stress. If you reduce this addictions in your food and sugar and all that, your body's under less stress. Your overall state of energy will be more relaxed because you're not craving. So that's reduction in stress. Meditating, having quiet time in the morning, keeping a journal, and so you can sort your thoughts. That's stress reduction. We can think of many ways. Think of the ways in your life that you can reduce your stress, but don't reach for an external, like a chemical or a drug. Let's find ways to do this internally through how we manage our habits, our sleep and our lifestyles, and our relationships. You know, I met you at a community run.
Yeah.
And then he mentioned that he was a journalist. And you know, I want to support him. And he said, and I can be fodder for your job. You're enhancing me. This is going to wind up somehow on my channel to help to educate people. True. So you see, this is relationships. This is reducing stress in itself because we feel supported. We feel recognized. You know, I see who you are. I'm not your wife, for God's sake. Be a good man. You know, right. Community is how we hold each other accountable.
Yeah.
So even though I tell people to be disciplined, if you can find your tribe of like-minded individuals, they support and encourage you. Yeah. Your personal discipline, it adds to their strength.
That is true.
Woo! That interaction of your personal trying, and then they're saying, "Go, congratulations, enda." Yeah, it's all fulfilling, and that makes you happier. Yeah. That reduces your stress. So I don't know your individual formula on how you're going to manage your stress, your prayer life, your community, your diet, your amount of exercise in moderation will reduce your stress. I don't know what levers you're going to pull, but pulling these levers at the rate that you can tolerate, a little at a time, but done consistently as your daily and weekly habits. Scheduling your workouts, getting a little app and playing with it to monitor your sleep, to see how much you're sleeping. All of that are fun ways to gamify it. You know, and then you can see, I slept an average of 6 hours this week. Let me try to get a little more sleep. I'll go to bed a half hour earlier, you know, which means I'll make sure I eat dinner by 7. See, you can do this game and you can start to get these results.
Perfectly doable.
Yeah, perfectly doable, just not all at once. Okay. A little at a time with consistency. We move the rudder slightly. And then in a year, your cruise ship has reached a different island entirely than your friends that kept going this way. Yeah. In a year, you're in a different location entirely. True. But not overnight. Okay.
And the results have a way of showing.
When you do it in a gradual, holistic way, you are changing your lifestyle. That is sustainable. When you do this, it might be a little hard at first, but once you get going, it's more relaxed. You're not using willpower so much as enjoying your new habits because you feel better. And that is your encouragement to keep you going, is that you just feel better. You're happier. Exercise is the medicine for depression. True. Once you get this down some, you can exercise more, and that addresses depression. Take all that sugar out of your diet and get that alcohol out. That alcohol is a depressant. Just cut alcohol, and in a month you will clinically address depression in a significant, measurable way. That's why, for instance, a lot of people, with the studies in the UK, they take a month off of alcohol, and then even when drinkers go back, they drink less. Wow. Who'd have thunk it? So anyway, I hope this sharing of information helps, guys.